Remember when your drunk uncle hosted his own Christmas special? Let's go back.
Tamagotchi,
Of Y2K.
Merry Christmas and welcome back to another Christmas edition of Channel Surfing. I had the opposite issue I did with the Halloween channel surfing video. This time I had too many to choose from and ended up watching a lot of stuff I can't even use. But the good news is I was able to find some nice Christmas gems. Let's not waste any more time and start channel surfing.
Put a lid on it, bozo.
Have you saying, dear one, hold me fast?
This is the Bob Green Jazz Christmas out of Mountain View, California in 1994, and it's a grand old time.
Hello everybody, I'm Bob Green, the jazz engineer.
You can always tell we're in for something special when it opens with older people out of frame. It's mostly Bob Green playing Christmas songs on a xylophone? I could be wrong about that, I'm sure someone will correct me in the comments if I am. In front of him is what I assume to be a choir of elderly folks, and apparently Ed Kemper here in the back. The reason I say I assume they're a choir is because they have sheet music and they're all singing, but someone forgot to put a microphone near them so we can't hear them one bit. And by the way, they're absolutely thrilled to be there.
Ellis.
Bless you. This Christmas special is filmed by I can only assume is one of their grandkids who went to film school because it's filled with some exciting experimental shots. We get everything from close-ups of a blow-up Christmas tree, more than once I might add, this shot which I can only assume wasn't intentional and the cameraman died, and an amazing pull from black to reveal Bob Green. I think that's their signature shot, kinda like Tarantino's trunk shots.
Now we're going to get into one that everyone here should know. Jingle Bells.
I like that Bob's playing all the hits. You'd hate to go to a concert and all they play are the deep cuts. Before we move on, I want to point out this guy in the front. The entire time he's looking nervously off camera. I can only assume there's someone off camera with a gun who really likes Christmas jazz music, forcing all these poor folks to sing for them. Hey Mabel, sneeze if you're all in danger.
I work at Burger King making flavor whoppers. I wear paper hats. Would you like an apple pie with that?
This is The Christmas Tree, a special that aired on the USA Network and then never aired again. After watching it, I can understand why. By the way, when I was trying to find out more about the special, I ended up on its IMDb page and there's that rating for parents. And under frightening and intense scenes it has severe, which is understandable.
stand back, you fool!
But under sex and nudity it says mild? Did I miss something? Because I can't think of why it would be marked mild. I mean, the dog in it is nude the whole time, but that's about it. Anyway, let me get into the plot of this special. So there's this bitch named Mrs. Melvilda who runs an orphanage. And she treats the kids like crap and pockets the money that was meant for the kids and gambles it away. She's also a terrible poker player because she seems to always lose her money every month. You think at one point you'd try something different, maybe some horse racing, a little roulette? Buckle up, this story gets much more bleak. The children have two friends. One is a stray dog named Licorice, and a pine tree they call Miss Hopewell. I think that's the name, and they love that tree.
When I'm scared, I think about her branches like arms holding me.
I'm sorry, this special was meant for children? Alright, so there's this couple and they have two kids and they're new to town. The father is offered a job at the lumber mill, but apparently that means he'll be away from his family. The mayor suggests his wife and their two kids go live at the orphanage where she can work as an assistant to Mrs. Melvilda. When they arrive at the orphanage, we get to hear some of the incredible voice acting that will be present throughout.
I'd better go now. Take good care of yourself and the children, Judy. I will be back before Christmas.
He's so full of emotion, I'm riveted. For some reason, Mrs. Melvilda basically takes control of the woman's kids and her.
You can spend some time with your children after you finish all your chores. But only half an hour and no more.
I can spend half an hour a day with my own kids? Bitch, how are you not at the bottom of a lake yet? It is Mrs. Melvilda. Makes you wonder where her husband is. I think we have another Carol Baskins situation on our hands. Might be time to start asking some questions. Judy, I remembered her name this time, Judy starts spending time with the children and they all love her. Mrs. Mavilda does not like this, which is strange. You think she'd be thrilled that the kids are out of her hair, but whatever. The mayor brings 2 bags of money for Christmas this year, enough to not only feed the orphans, but to get them new clothes and Christmas gifts. But guess what happens?
What do you think, Mavilda? No!
Bitch, learn how to play poker. Judy tells the children about Christmas because they haven't got a clue what it is, and they all make their Christmas wishes for Santa. The next morning, Mrs. Mavilda wakes up and says something that I'm surprised is in a children's cartoon.
What a hangover.
The 90s were wild. This is where Judy finds out that Mrs. Mavilda is keeping the money for herself, and is told to keep the kids inside so that the mayor won't see them without their new clothes. Anyway, she hatched a plan to make Judy look like a thief by having a friend plan something expensive on her, which honestly goes nowhere. But she also has a plan to cut down the orphan's beloved tree. Why? Because fuck them, that's why. They haven't gone through enough trauma yet. One of the kids overhears her plans and relays it back to the other kids. They decide to change their Christmas wish to Santa to help save the tree, along with some more depressing lines.
That's right. We're never gonna see them again. We're gonna be all alone.
It's gonna be a pretty lonely Christmas.
Santa's not gonna hear you. Nobody's gonna hear you. Miracles don't happen.
Judy's kids have had enough, and along with Licorice, they head to the North Pole to speak to the big man himself. But they get attacked by a bear and the sister falls off a cliff.
Lily's gone, Licorice. She's gone.
Jesus Christ, I'm gonna need therapy after watching this. Now that her thief plan didn't work, Mrs. Mavilda snaps. She has someone come over with a chainsaw, and even though the kids and Judy form a wall to stop it from being cut down, she tells the guy to threaten them with the chainsaw. I don't care what any of you say, that's just good service. He was hired to do a job and he's not gonna let something silly like the dismemberment of children stop him. But uh-oh, here comes the mayor. They explain everything that's going on, but Mrs. Mavilda turns into Leatherface and starts waving the chainsaw all around. Luckily, Santa flies by and strikes her with lightning. Santa is Zeus, confirmed. Also, kids, see what happens when you end up on the naughty list? You get fried. Santa also lights up the Christmas tree and returns Lily to her family, while also giving all the orphans new clothes and Christmas gifts. Which makes me say, fuck you, Santa. Where were you the previous years the kids were being abused? The mayor offers Judy the job of running the orphanage, which she accepts, and they not only forgive Mrs. Mavilda, but she begins working back at the orphanage as the assistant to Judy. No. Not only should she not be anywhere near children, but you need to call the police. In the last 40 minutes I watched, she committed fraud, child abuse, and attempted murder. She needs to go to prison. That's the end. What a strange Christmas special. Terribly animated for something that came out in 1991, and the only redeeming factor was the adorable kids' voices. Other than that, Child Protective Services should be called on everyone from the writers to whoever greenlit this at USA. Moving on.
Lays away toys, little and large. Hundreds of toys. Express layaway too.
Once again, it wouldn't be a channel surfing video without some public access television. This is a show called Isn't That Something from 2002 out of Fort Wayne, Indiana, and it lives up to its name. It stars this guy, who I can only describe as a drunk Uncle Buck, playing Christmas vinyl records.
Hello, and welcome to another exciting episode of Isn't That Something, where we got a running a program about music where you and
I don't think he ever says his name, so for this, I'm just gonna call him Jim. He kinda looks like a Jim anyway. If you haven't noticed yet, Jim here loves himself a drink or two, or three. At one point, he thinks he's a plane and then just sort of walks off camera for a while. Jim goes on to tell us what he plans on doing Christmas morning.
I think I'll get up early with Anne. It's just me and her.
I can only assume that's Anne in the background there.
We'll put that back in its place.
That caught me off guard the first time I saw it. It's still the funniest thing ever. This feels like a Bill Hader character from SNL.
I know we're recording it.
After destroying his Christmas records, he lights up a cigar and looks as though he's preparing for a fight. It actually starts to get kinda depressing, which seems fitting as he's going through all the motions of consuming too much alcohol. He starts to talk about how when he was younger his father lost his job at the old GE factory around Christmas time. I'd love to tell you more, but mid-story he just sorta walks away.
Listen to this, I'll be right back.
And unfortunately for Jim, he kinda loses track of time, and this is how the show ends.
MLOV. Hey, we gotta go.
And there you have it, another Christmas channel surfing in the books. This will most likely be my final video of the year. Because of that, I want to thank everyone who watched, commented, and liked my videos throughout 2023. Your kind words have really kept me motivated. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to like and subscribe. And to everyone watching this, have a Merry Christmas and a happy and healthy New Year. See you in 2024.